From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is the Weather Classroom.
We've probably heard the term derecho float around when it comes to severe thunderstorms, but what exactly is a derecho? And there's a distinct difference between a line of storms that moves in and causes damage and a derecho. And that has to do with, one, how long the derecho lasts, and exactly where it ends up going, traveling how far. There's actually criteria involved, and these are those criteria. It has to have an area of wind damage that extends more than 250 miles in length. The wind gusts along the damaged paths have to be of at least 58 miles per hour. That is the definition of a severe thunderstorm. Anything wind potential 58 miles an hour and over, and also several well-separated wind gusts of 75 miles per hour or greater. So this is where that derecho will track. It has to be, again, more than 250 miles, and you have to have all of these damage criteria in place for that to be called a derecho. So even though you might have a big line of storms that moves on through, it might pack 70 to 80 mile per hour winds. If it doesn't last that 250 mile length at a minimum, you do not have a derecho. So that is that distinct difference between just having a big line of storms that moves through and it actually being considered a derecho. The other thing is, where do derechos happen? Because we hear about them. They happen down here in the South, in Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi. They also happen in the plains, Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. They happen in the Midwest. They happen pretty much everywhere east of the Rockies. But where is the most prevalent place to see derechos? Well, in the light blue area, that includes places like North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, generally right along that front range of the Rockies, down into parts of the Texas Panhandle. And then over here into the east includes southeast Alabama, Georgia, over into parts of the Carolinas and Virginia. That's where you can kind of expect one derecho every 4 years or so. So it's not actually too common in those areas. Now you get into the lightly darker blue area, you can expect one derecho for every 2 years. That includes places like into Sioux, South Dakota, into parts of Omaha, Nebraska, down into parts of Kansas, the western side of Oklahoma, and then that's where we see our potential over here from the majority of Alabama into Tennessee. We usually get one every 2 years or so, but they are more prevalent here in the plains states and parts of the Midwest as well. You can expect a derecho probably every single year as you look at the climatological outlook. And then this little spot here, that's where you actually get the majority of the derechos happen, and they happen very frequently in these areas when you look at the climatology. You can actually get 4 derechos every 3 years. So that is a substantial increase in the threat of seeing those derecho events, and it is smack dab right here in parts of northwestern Arkansas, into parts of southwestern Missouri, into parts of extreme southeastern Kansas, and far northeastern Oklahoma. That little spot right there, that's where the majority of the derechos happen when you go back several years to look at where things have transpired. That is the hot spot when it comes to a derecho.